A mother, an actor, and a grandmother padlocked themselves together to protest a $900 million power plant. This is one half of the Wawayanda 6. It was a necessary escalation as well as a metaphor by approving a 650 megawatt power plant powered by fracked gas that emits 2.1 million tons of greenhouse gases every year. New York energy policy has turned a once pristine, critical environment area into a sacrifice zone, locking us all together in a fossil fuel dependency for the next 30 years.
Despite the rhetoric of 50% renewable by 2030, Governor Cuomo's approval of the CPV Valley Energy Plan demonstrates his actual intent. He has no problem using, transporting, storing, or furthering our dependence on fracked gas.
In fact, the CPV power plant alone would support 22 fracking wells in Pennsylvania every year. So while our governor said no to fracking, he said yes to fracked gas. This is not only incoherent, it's a frack your neighbor energy policy.
Our national and state energy policy is like a two-lane highway. One lane represents public health and the other climate change. And our governor is speeding down that highway at 100 miles per hour. But where's it headed? Well, we keep being told that there's a mythical bridge that will supposedly take us to some kind of sustainable future. But did you ever try to stand on a bridge made of gas?
No way. We're actually hurtling towards a future called climate disaster. The 3.7 degree highway is an environmental catastrophe paved entirely with fracked gas. Our renewable energy goals have become a mirage. We need to be 100% renewable now. If we want to continue living on this planet, we must leave all fossil fuels in the ground. If Cuomo is truly serious about his own goals, then why permit even one more fossil fuel plant? He already has more than 50% quota, and CPV is just the beginning. Cricket Valley in Dover has also been approved. Plus there's a mystery gas plant being planned along the Constitution.
We have to understand that power plants are anchor projects, and they drive the rest of the infrastructure. Frack gas, doesn't get to the power plants by FedEx, You need thousands of miles of pipeline and hundreds of compressor stations, metering stations, and storage facilities.
From the CPV Valley Power Plant, which has been fully approved and is currently under construction, to the AIM pipeline, also under construction, right next to the Indian Point spent fuel rods, to the Constitution pipeline, already pushing to begin tree clearing, followed closely by NED. New York is under siege by the gas industry. We must demand that our elected officials safeguard public health and safety, as well as protect our shared natural environment. It's our children's future, and their children's, if we're lucky.
The gas industry is just like a drug dealer who never stops pushing, and they have vast expansion plans, especially here in New York, which they see as a vital transportation corridor and market for frack gas. And our state is the 5th largest consumer of frack gas in the country, and our governor is totally hooked.
We need an urgent 3-step program. First and foremost, we must stop building new fossil power plants, especially those that use fracked gas. This means we must stop CPV and all the other power plants that are in the works. 2, resist all gas infrastructure development by any means necessary. Subsidize and develop only 100% wind, water, and solar energy resources.
We're at a fork in the road of our so-called energy highway, and if you look past the headlines and separate reality from rhetoric, you'll see that we're about to take the wrong road.
We must demand that our elected officials change course. Trojan horses like REV, that's the Reforming Energy Vision, are riddled with deception and ambiguity. We must clean up the language of REV, get rid of its support for gas, and make REV relevant to the world we want. We must speak with one unified voice, just as we did 2 years ago, when we said, not one well. Now we must say, not one sacrifice zone, not 1 mile of pipeline, not 1 megawatt of fossil fuel.
We must join with frontline communities across our state, in Westchester, and in Minisink, and in Pennsylvania, the people who shared their tragic stories with us to help us get the fracking ban, and now demand an ethical energy plan, because climate justice is community justice, and community justice is energy justice.
Our work isn't done yet. We must be vigilant. Fighting pipelines and power plants are the next struggles. Fracked gas is an existential threat to us all. It is the 5 minutes to midnight for frontline communities, and we all know that. When it comes to climate change, we are all living in the same time zone. Now is the time to take the pledge to defend the lives of all sentient beings on this planet. Join us. There are people walking around with clipboards. Sign the pledge. Refuse and resist fracked gas in our state.